As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the horizon in brilliant hues of orange and pink, Emily carefully cradled the shimmering creature in her arms. It felt weightless, almost ethereal, as though she was holding a piece of the river itself. Noticing the delicate gill-like fins trailing from its arms, she marveled at the intricacy of the being that had emerged from the depths. Its silky hair flowed like a waterfall, reflecting shades of blue and green, mesmerizing her further. The poor creature, realizing its ordeal was over, began to stir. Emerald green eyes opened wide, sparkling with gratitude and fear. Emily's heart skipped a beat, entranced not only by its beauty, but also by the vulnerability it exuded. What had she brought home? A spark of instinct told her that the being was more than a mere fish out of water. It was something magical, something that thrived in a realm she had only glimpsed in fantasies. "You're safe now," Emily whispered, her voice a mixture of awe and determination, as if the very words could bridge the gap between their worlds. She gently laid the being down on a soft patch of grass, the earth warm beneath their intertwined existence. Distantly, she heard the sound of cicadas and the rustling of leaves, but all of that faded into the background as she focused on the creature's delicate features. The mermaid blinked slowly, still collecting her bearings. Cautiously, she raised her hand, and before Emily could react, the creature touched her fingertip, sending a jolt of electricity that flowed through Emily's veins. Memories she had long forgotten drifted to the surface. Her grandmother's adventurous tales of merfolk who danced on the riverbank at twilight, wishes whispered into the waters, and dreams taking flight beneath moonlit skies. The connection felt instantaneous, weaving the fabric of those stories into this living reality. "Are you okay?" Emily asked softly, still not understanding the trauma the creature had just endured. In response, the mermaid offered a timid smile, revealing the pearly whites beneath her lips. It was then that Emily noticed the faint shimmer of worry in her eyes, as if she was weighing something important. The moment stretched, thick with unspoken words and emotions. Noticing the closely cradled shell necklace around the creature's neck, Emily felt an overwhelming urge to understand more. "What's your name?" she asked, her curiosity piquing now. The mermaid's expression shifted from uncertainty to a flicker of recognition. "Lyra," she murmured, the name rolling off her tongue like a melody. With that name, the world around Emily felt altered, charged. As twilight began to envelop the sky, shadows danced across the riverbank, and the unlikeliest of friendships began to unfurl. Two beings from such disparate worlds brought together by fate's whim. Little did they both know, this was just the beginning of an astonishing adventure that would test the limits of their understanding and the trust they would build in the days to come. Days turned into weeks, and Emily found solace in her secret companionship with Mira. Their evenings were marked by laughter that echoed softly against the walls of her home, an enchanting duet, a melody of two worlds harmonizing. Emily transformed her small room into their sanctuary, filled with trinkets gathered from her mundane life, while Mira, with her shimmering elegance, added an aura of magic that illuminated even the dullest corners. The once familiar clutter became adorned with tales woven intricately between the human heart and the ocean's soul. Emily often marveled at Mira's graceful movements as she swayed effortlessly like seaweed in the current, the light catching on her iridescent scales, casting an ever-changing glow across Emily's walls. The way Mira's laughter danced like splashing waves filled the air with a warmth that chased away Emily's lingering doubts. Slowly, the creature's stories began, weaving a tapestry of understanding that neither could have imagined. Each tale shared by Mira was a glimpse into a world of ethereal beauty, while simultaneously revealing the sorrows of her oceanic domain. Pollution, choking vibrant reefs, and greed threatening the depths. One evening, while nestled in an array of cushions made from Emily's favorite childhood blankets, Mira's voice cracked with emotion as she spoke of the ancient guardians of the sea. They were once our protectors, vibrant, beings of pure light, ensuring harmony. But as humans took from the ocean, their strength waned, and now few remain. Her eyes, shimmering like sunlit waves, locked onto Emily's. I fear for what lies ahead for us all. The connection between our worlds grows tenuous, slipping through our fingers like the sand at low tide. Emily felt a pang of guilt twist within her, realizing with undeniable clarity the impact of her own world on Mira's. Her heart, once inflamed with excitement for their separate existences, now bore the weight of responsibility. "But what can I do?" The question tumbled from Emily's lips, raw and vulnerable. "I'm just one person, and my world feels so far removed from yours." Mira reached out, her delicate fingers brushing against Emily's hand, sending a shiver of energy through them both. That is where the magic lies. Change begins with one heart. You have the power to inspire others, to bridge our worlds through understanding and love. Every whisper of hope has the potential to ripple across oceans. As the moonlight pooled in the corner of the room, Emily felt a surge of determination coursing through her veins. Thoughts of her daily life, of the grind that often felt so suffocating, began to morph. Perhaps this was her chance, a call to arms for the creatures of the deep and the people on the surface. She could become the voice for the voiceless. But uncertainty loomed large. How would she convey Mira's exquisite world to skeptical ears and hurried minds? That night, as they embraced the reality of their intertwined destinies, Emily clung to her newfound purpose, while the ocean's call reverberated just beneath her skin. Secrets whispered under the stars became the gentle roots that would set down in her soul, urging her to find a way to nurture both worlds, even at the risk of exposing the extraordinary to a world adamant about the ordinary. Emily watched as Mira navigated through the intricacies of life on land with a mix of curiosity and concern. The young mermaid, with her shimmering green tail transformed into a pair of delicate, iridescent leggings, was attempting to make sense of everything that was so natural to Emily, but entirely foreign to her. Every morning, their routine revolved around Emily answering Mira's myriad questions about the smallest details of human existence. Just the other day, Mira had expressed bewilderment over the concept of walking on grass, her delicate toes curling as she landed them on the dewy blades for the first time. It was a simple experience for Emily, yet seeing Mira's delight brought an unexpected warmth to her heart. As days melted into weeks, their friendship blossomed against the backdrop of Emily's suburban life. Mira discovered the joy of a steaming cup of hot chocolate, her eyes sparkling with delight as whipped cream turned into foam castles atop her drink. Emily treated these moments with reverence. She understood they were not just indulgences, but vital experiences that anchored Mira further into this new world. However, she also feared what was out there waiting to reclaim her friend. The ocean could never be easily forgotten. The eeriness of the changes began to creep in when Mira expressed an unexpected fascination with social media. One rainy afternoon, Emily cautiously handed over her phone, the screen illuminating Mira's face. Her innocent exploration soon transformed into something more as she stumbled upon images depicting beautiful, underwater vistas, places she'd long considered home. The sight seemed to trigger a deep-seated longing. Little did they know, those images were not mere memories. They were lures cast by dark forces lurking in the shadows beneath the waves. Mira's susceptibility became apparent when she began to hear whispers in her dreams, phantom voices summoning her under the blue depths for reasons yet unclear. Though Emily tried to assure her, the atmosphere altered tangible tension into the air. The lively chatter in Emily's home slowly shifted to discussions about a night out, while Mira sat quietly, her vibrant demeanor occasionally clouded by a growing sense of being torn between two worlds. One such evening, relief washed over Emily as they lounged together watching movies, but the sense of comfort was fleeting. While Mira laughed at the on-screen antics, Emily's gaze drifted to the glassy surface outside, where the moonlight danced on the lake nearby. It beckoned, reminiscent of the ocean's pull. She too felt the weight of the unresolved, the knowledge that Mira's freedom was precarious. The thought that shadows from the water's depths could yet reach out to clutch at her friend ignited an anxious spark within her. As night fell and darkness enveloped the house, a coincidental rustle from the lakeshore sent chills down Emily's spine. The wind carried a strange melody, weaving a haunting tune that reminded Emily of the stories Mira had shared about the siren calls. Their pristine world, once so full of laughter and warmth, began to flicker with an unclear sense of dread. Mira's laughter echoed through the sunlit room, a melody that wrapped around Emily like a gossamer thread. For a fleeting moment, the burdens they faced seemed to dissipate in the warmth of their shared joy. As they sprawled on the floor, surrounded by sketches of oceans and dreams, Emily could almost forget the gravity of the shadow that loomed beyond their sanctuary. But as the sunlight waned, painting everything in hues of amber, the reality crept back in with chilling clarity. Outside their refuge, murmurs of curiosity had swelled among the townsfolk. Whispers of a mysterious girl with shimmering hair and enchanting eyes flitted through the coastal air, carried by the wind until they reached the ears of those who thrived on secrets and intrigue. There were those who believed in myths, those who knew the power of the sea, and those who were driven by greed. Emily could feel their gazes penetrating the walls of her home, probing for signs of the extraordinary existence she was desperate to protect. Each day, Mira became a little more restless. The tide of their hidden world stirred something within her, a yearning for freedom that Emily couldn't quell. Despite the laughter they shared, there was an undercurrent of urgency in her voice, a longing that punctuated their conversations. "Emily, I want to see the world above the waves. I want to feel the rain on my skin like you do." The words hung in the air, weighted with unspoken fears, a reminder that their time was running out. In silent agreement, they spent their evenings strategizing, Emily's heart racing as she envisioned ways to shield her friend. They draped heavy curtains and rigged barriers, but the spotlight of prying eyes was relentless, eager to uncover the truth that lay within their walls. There were nights Emily would wake in a panic, staring wide-eyed at the ceiling, haunted by dreams of dark, figures lurking at their door, mysterious hands reaching out to claim what was hidden. Mira seemed to sense the strain. She would often take Emily's hand, her cool, smooth skin grounding Emily in those moments of unchecked fear. "You mustn't worry so much," Mira would whisper, her gaze penetrating but soft. "As long as we have each other, we can face anything." Yet, as time wore on, Emily couldn't shake the weight that settled in the pit of her stomach. Their love, once a thrilling escapade into the unknown, transformed into a delicate dance of desperation, with each stolen glance feeling both electrifying and suffocating. In stolen moments, their connection deepened, speaking volumes in silence, but with every heartbeat, each unspoken fear expanded the distance between them. Emily found herself teetering at the precipice of two worlds, a mundane life accentuated by the allure of something wild and beautiful. But the gap was rapidly widening, filled with unshed tears, intense longing, and the certainty that love could just as easily bind as it could set free. Mira's presence became both a lifeline and an anchor, a source of light and shadow that closed in around them. Their plight had gone from liberation to confinement, an unexpected consequence of a heart's desire. With every fleeting moment shared, the stakes grew higher, and Emily realized that protecting the one she loved might come at the cost of losing the freedom they both craved, a future that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. As the world outside threatened to intrude, the solace of their bond felt fragile, and in the depths of Emily's heart, she feared that the story they were writing together was nearing a heart-wrenching climax, one she couldn't bear to imagine. The air crackled with tension as Emily and Mira stood perilously close to the riverbank, the sky swirling above them in chaotic patterns, reflecting the turmoil in their hearts. Shadows danced along the water's edge, mere echoes of the dark, figures that had come to claim what they believed was rightfully theirs. Emily's hands trembled at her sides, not just from the chill that permeated the night, but from the weight of the choices laid bare before them. Every heartbeat thundered in her ears, a fierce reminder of the life and love she yearned to protect. Mira's brow was furrowed, her fierce spirit seemingly dimmed under the looming threat. She cast a sidelong glance at Emily, her dark eyes glistening like twin stars amidst an encroaching void. "We can't let them win, Emily." Her voice was steady, but Emily could detect the quiver beneath the surface, an undercurrent of fear that threatened to betray her brave facade. "Win?" Emily echoed, a bitter laugh bubbling up unexpectedly. "What does winning even mean anymore? All I see is a storm gathering strength, and it's about to swallow us whole." The river surged in a vicious rhythm, its waters mirroring the tides of uncertainty that churned within her. She had never felt so helpless, wrestling with the knowledge of what they faced while desperately wanting to believe that love could shield them from the storm. But the shadows were relentless, gnashing in the distance like ravenous wolves, eager to exploit their vulnerabilities. Emily felt a fresh wave of anger rise within her, a spark ignited not just for survival, but as a testament to what they shared. "No, we can't let them dictate the narrative," she declared, her voice rising above the fierce wind that whipped around them. "We've fought for this bond. We won't let fear tear us apart now." Mira's gaze lingered on the darkness approaching, clouds twisting ominously above. "But what if fighting means risking everything? What if it breaks us instead?" The question hung heavy in the air, laden with unspoken fears and memories of past scars. The storm roared as if to underscore the gravity of that statement, its roaring winds a chaotic symphony of dread. "Maybe it's already broken," Emily whispered, a pang of sorrow threading through her words. "But it can also be mended, together." A flicker of understanding passed between them as the storm's intensity peaked, turning the night into an inky darkness. Their eyes locked, the connection they shared grounded amidst the chaos, a reminder of all they fought to preserve. Emily took a step closer, the ferocity of the storm somehow igniting her resolve. "If we're to face them, we won't do it alone," she vowed, inching forward even as thunder cracked overhead. A burgeoning light within their bond pulsed, illuminating the possibility that had always existed within them, the strength that arose from unity. Whatever awaited them in the shadows, they would face it as one. In that pivotal moment, with the storm raging around them, they felt an unbreakable force grow, a love forged not from fear, but from the fire of their shared choices. Destiny awaited them, not as a fearsome foe, but as a voyager of their own making, ready to embrace the tumult of their intertwined lives.